Bonjour, everybody. Hi, this is Yvette Neshi Lokotz, and welcome to Star Nation's organization's main fan page right here at Facebook, where I do a daily live stream around the divination cards that were drawn in the morning. It's about a spiritual conversation, right? And actually, the Star Nation's community gathering for that cyber spiritual roundtable. Or something like that. So welcome. It is Saturday, December 29th, and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon here in La Crosse, or near La Crosse, Wisconsin. I live in Toma. That's a central time zone. And it's kind of cloudy today and a lot colder than it was yesterday. So anyway, it's Saturday, and the weekend, it's always fun, right? There's always something going on, and there is here always. And Rochelle is here. Yay, Rochelle. It's good to see you too, Rochelle. I hope you're feeling good, feeling better. Before we get rolling with the chatting and the card information, I want to like and share. I'm going to do that right now. It doesn't take long. And if you wouldn't mind also liking and sharing the broadcast, we would really appreciate it. And the reason why we even ask almost every show, we try to remember to do it, is because it's easier for other people, other souls, searching for certain spiritual information, right? And Facebook, that elusive creature, we do know that it really likes and shares. And there's so much information that gets posted every second, right? That it's easy for an item to get buried under all of the other information that gets shared. And so when we do the liking and sharing, it helps us to be in the newsfeed a little bit more. And it's kind of like a spiritual workers, whether you're a light worker or energy worker, it's kind of like our spiritual civic duty, right? So I'm going to post it to my personal newsfeed, and just to make sure my friends know that I'm live streaming, and asking them to please join. There we go. There. And I do believe Stephanie Williams, who is our Star Nation's organization social media manager. You'll see her in the chat, posting on her own and also through Star Nation's main fan page. And she usually catches all of the different pages and groups that we have, letting them know that we are live streaming. One of us is anyway. All right, let's see who's in the chat. Yeah, okay, we said hello to Rochelle. Hey, Lynn Marie. Hello, Lynn Marie. So glad to see you in the chat. Oh, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that, Lynn. I really do. And Rochelle, thank you so much. I can always count on you. Samantha, hi. How are you? I'm doing pretty darn good. I hope you're doing well too, Samantha. I have to say, I'm going to share something in just a second. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you so much. Hey, and Julie's here too. Hi, Julie Shumway Hill. Good. It's always good to see you in the chat. All right. So thank you for asking, Samantha, about how I'm doing. I have to share something. The last couple of days, I've had a headache. And I normally don't get headaches, but this was kind of like a pesky one, It wasn't so bad that I had to lay down and go to sleep or anything like that, but it was pesky enough. It wouldn't go away. And so I even took a Tylenol yesterday, and it made it a little bit better, but it didn't go away. So, of course, my mom is, hey, a mom is a mom. No matter how old she is. My mom's 99, and she is going down the list of stuff. Did you do this, and this, and even sharing stuff that I've shared with her, like using thieves oil or peppermint oil. So it didn't dawn on me until this morning, because my headache was still there. It's like, what the heck? Because I'm grounded, and I even, balanced, cleared my chakras, and I'm going, okay, is this checking in with my spiritual team? Is this like an expansion headache? No, And so I'm talking to them as I'm brushing my teeth. I said, "Son, what the heck? What's this headache about then?" And they're so funny. "When was the last time you had caffeine?" I had to stop and think about it. It's like, it's been a few days. I can't tell you when the last time was. And then I realized, oh, I'm going through caffeine withdrawal. Yeah, that's what that headache was all about. And so I had a decision to make, right? Should I spend today and maybe even tomorrow with this pesky headache? And then go through get through the other side of the withdrawal symptoms, and be caffeine free. Now, and I've done that in the past. I spent years being caffeine free. And, or the other decision could be that I actually have some caffeine and get rid of the headache and be a little bit more comfortable and a lot more productive in what I'm doing, because I'm working on Star Nations magazine, the January issue. I had a cup of coffee, and I have to tell you, within 20 minutes, my headache was gone. And I was telling my husband about it, right? And I said, it's not like I drink, large amounts of caffeine a day. It's not like I drink 12 cups or anything like that. I have one or two, and sometimes my tea might be caffeinated. I might have black tea rather than, or Earl Grey or something, right? So that's what I did, and I feel great. I do. Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to scroll down a little bit here. Come on, scroll. There we go. All right. Hey, Selma Love. I like your name. Hi, first time watching. Well, welcome. I'm so glad you joined us, Selma. I hope you enjoy your time with us. We're going to be getting into the card draw that I did this morning, and we'll be talking about that in just a minute. Let's see who else is here. Santosh Kumar Bashal. Hello. Well, I don't do individual cards reads. Yeah, because we have other show hosts here at Star Nations Radio Network who do that. And if you enjoy that kind of information, individual card reads, here are the names of the show hosts, live stream show hosts for us that do individual card reads, and they're very, very good. The first one is Julie Hedges, and the name of her show is The Tarot Journey. And she's on the third Monday evening here at 9 p.m. Eastern. And usually the last 15 minutes or so of her show, she'll do individual card reads for those who would like to have a card drawn for them. And so she's very good at it. Tarot, she says, is her second language. Astrology is her first. And so if you enjoy that, you can always check in with Julie and see how you resonate with her, and have a card drawn for you. The other host is Polly Jola Bay. She has two shows, but the show that she does the card draw on is Soul Connections, and that's a weekly show. It's on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And the first half of the show is a healing meditation, and the second half of her show is the actual card draw. And let me tell you, she is really, really good. And she'll keep drawing cards as long as people are asking for them, and making sure that everybody who wants a card gets a card. And I happen to produce that show for her. So a couple weeks ago, she did 53 cards. 53. We were on for almost 2 hours. Yeah. So come and join us for either one of those shows, and that you'll get an individual card. The card draw that I do is more of it's more encompassing. It's about the energy that's flowing today that's important for us to know about. Okay. And so it touches all of us. So any part of that resonates with you, that's your piece of it. And so that's what we're going to talk about in just a second. Yeah. Thank you, Rochelle, for welcoming Selma. That's nice. And Jennifer, hello, Jennifer. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. And Lynn Marie say, I had a headache too. Had to take ibuprofen. Going to take a salt bath soon. Yeah, and that's why I was checking in with my spiritual team. Like, what is this? Because I'd been with it for a couple of days, and like I said, it wasn't painful to the point where I had to lay down or take a nap or anything like that. It was just this pesky, and it would remind me that it's there. Right? And so checking in with them, because had it been an expansion headache, meaning that I was going through some soul growth, that receiving download of information, there's other things that I could do to help alleviate that, right? The uncomfortableness of it, and to be more in the flow. So if that's what you're going through, yeah, salt bath and the ibuprofen, why not? Some people would say, "Oh no, don't take that." But if you're getting guidance to take the ibuprofen, I say take it. Yeah, there's no reason to suffer through it. No, if it's an expansion headache, this is what I do. I make sure I'm grounded, and I check my chakras. Making sure that they're all balanced and spinning at an optimal rate, right? And then I talk to my spiritual team and I ask them to please help me, show me how I can be more relaxed and in the flow of the information, so that the expansion headache, the uncomfortableness of it dissipates. And asking them to show me what's the best way that I can do that. And then they'll give me the information that I need for that. So that's what I do, And if the salt bath works for you, yay. Those are good. Those are good anyway. Okay, so for those who are with us for the first time, I love it. Thank you for being here. This is the deck that we're currently using, and it's called Angels and Ancestors, and the author is Kyle Gray, and the artist is Lily Moses. Okay. This is literally a brand new deck. I had gotten this deck pre-ordered in August, and it was released in September, published in 2018. So literally a brand new deck. I was getting the nudge from Spirit to get a new deck of cards, and so I went out to Amazon.com and I was looking at divination cards, scrolling through, because I'm Native American. I really wanted to have a deck of cards that was more in that area, right? Because there's not that many really good oracle cards that are Native American based. I feel that the ones that are out there, I have. But I was looking for something that might have been out there new or whatever, right? So, and what I was looking, and if that wasn't it, then I was looking for something that was more earth-based, right? In a belief system. And so I'm scrolling through, and this is the one that literally jumped off the screen at me. So I took a look at the description, and one of the things that Kyle Gray wrote in the description is about taking ancient information and bringing it into modern day through the deck of cards, so that we learn how to apply, or to remember how to apply the information in our daily lives. And that is so close to what we do at Star Nations organization. From the magazine to the live stream shows to the classes that are held, both online and in person, and also the publishing of the books, right? And so I thought, wow, let me look at this. And so I am so glad I got this deck, because I really like it a lot. It's really spot on many different layers. And the artwork is fantastic. Now, Kyle Gray is from Glasgow, Scotland, and Lily Moses is from New Zealand. And so they have that UK kind of perspective, right? And in some of the ways that Kyle writes and describes Native American issues, because that's me. you can tell that it's coming from a European point of view. And we kind of talk about that a bit. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just a different way of looking at it, right? Different way of applying it. So here we go. This is the first card. This is the first card. It's the Direction Guardian. Direction Guardian. There's a lot going on in this card, isn't there? Direction Guardian. It says, choose your path. Choose your path. Right in the center, see if I can get it close enough, is a compass. And each of the directions has an animal or an angel holding the energy of that direction. And if you can see up in the corners, right, up in the corners, we have the tetrahedron, which is a triangle. We have one facing down and one facing up. The downward facing, let's see if I can get, nope, other side, this one. The downward facing triangle or tetrahedron carries the energy of the earth. It gets kind of confusing, the language around it. Many people refer to it as the earth tetrahedron, although the tetrahedron actually represents fire, the element of fire. And the one that's facing up, the apex facing up triangle, is the sky or the above. So we could actually call those Father Sky or Grandfather Sky and Grandmother Earth tetrahedrons. That's probably a little bit easier to keep track of. And up at the top, if you can look at the top part of the card, we have a circles up there, almost like a halo. Yeah. Like I said, there's a lot going on. And around the inner circle, the wheel, if you look really closely, there's symbols. Light language, I would imagine. Yeah. Lots going on. And that special blue that happens to go through all the way through the deck of cards. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. All right. Let's see. Make sure I'm not missing any of the comments. Sometimes it's, I don't know if it's Facebook or our partners at BeLive TV. They I don't know if they hold them in a catch or what, but sometimes the messages don't come through at the studio here, and so I have to kind of take a look. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. Lynn saying there must be something. Stephanie, lack of humidity in your house can make caffeine headaches worse. That's true. That's true. But the humidity level in my house isn't bad at all. And so, but if we were heating like with wood or something like that, yeah, the humidity level would be a problem. So Santosh is saying, yes, dear, about the card drying. Okay. And Lynn Marie is saying, me too, pesky headache. Oh, and thank you, Stephanie, for listing the card deck at Amazon and also the magazine. Rochelle's saying that it's overwhelming, the card is. Sure. Stephanie's asking if I can show the bottom of the card again. Kiddo was up to mischief. Sure, we can do that. Here's the bottom of the card. I don't know. Get the camera to focus. Yeah, so we have that light language going around the bottom as well. There you go. All right. I'll put my phone someplace where it's not going to make too much noise. Okay, so the Direction Guardian says choose your path, right? And the message that Kyle writes about is connect with your deepest desires, then choose the path that will make your heart and soul sing. Choose the path that will make your heart and soul sing. we've been talking about desire, our deepest desires, right? And identifying those. We've been talking about that for weeks. And for those who are just joining us, one of the things that we talked about is if you have never actually said what your greatest desire is, actually spoke it or written it, right? Whether it's to yourself or to someone else, that we have an opportunity to do that. And once we voice it, or once we acknowledge it, then it's a step in that direction, right? And the other thing is that some people, it's really kind of hard to identify. They don't really know what that is. And so we were saying that the cards that we were getting were giving us suggestions. One of them is that you could do a shamanic journey to find it. You could go into meditation and meet with your higher self or your guardian angel and ask them what that is, because at a soul level, we already know. And our guardian angel has been with us since our soul was conceived. And so our guardian angel has been with us through every life experience we've had. And so our guardian angel knows us so well that, and why not ask them, right? Why not ask them? So we were given a couple of different ways that we could do that. And we can also do that for the greatest fear. Because in this deck of cards, we were getting the, I can't remember which one it was. Was it the Water Guardian, maybe? Anyway, they were saying that if we identify our greatest fear and work toward either healing it or releasing it, that on the other side of our greatest fear is our greatest desire. So if you want to identify what your greatest fear is and work at that and getting that healed and released, then you'll have more information about what your greatest desire is. So there's a couple of different ways that we could go about doing that, right? And so with this card, with the direction card, the spirit is saying, connect with your deepest desires, then choose the path that will make your heart and soul sing. So when we actualize, realize our greatest desires, we're happy, we shine, we get to use our gifts and apply them, and get into the mastery of them, right? Makes us happy. Yeah, I can tell that the live comments in the studio stopped, so I have to look at my phone again. We'll see what's going on. Okay, and hey, Mervyn Kelly's with us. And Toya is saying hello. Hello, Toya. I'm so glad you're with us. And Brenda Manson just joined us as well. Hello, Brenda. Good to have you in the house. We're talking about this card, the Direction Guardian. This is the first card that was drawn this morning. And so Spirit is saying, choose your path. Connect with your deepest desires and then choose a path that will make your heart and soul sing. In other words, we're full of joy and we're using our gifts, right? Kyle goes on to say that the Direction Guardian card represents the angels of the directions. These amazing angels are the ones who come to us when we're at crossroads and don't know which way to go. When we are unsure of what is right for us or of the bigger picture, they can help us know what's best for all involved. So if we connect with them, and chances are you have one of these direction angels on your spiritual team, right? And so when we connect with our spiritual team and ask them, I can do A or I can do B. Which one will give me the bring me closer to my soul contract? Which one will I have the most fulfillment? however you want to phrase that, and ask them to show you or to bring it to you, right? To understand it. He goes on to say that the guardian card refers to the vision of the Hebrew prophet Ezekiel, who is said to have seen an angel with 4 different faces. One of the faces was a cherub, an angel, a child angel. One was a bull, one was a lion, and one was an eagle. These 4 faces show that angels can appear in many guises and guide us in many different directions, but always for our highest good. Yeah. He goes on to say that your path isn't set in stone, and your angels and guides have no expectations for you, nor should you have any for yourself. There are many directions you can take. None of them are wrong, as they hold perfect opportunities to grow and learn. But life is to be enjoyed and savored. So if you know that there's a decision to be made, and particularly if you are feeling indecisive, choose the path that you know that's going to make you light up, and choose with your heart. And so many times, when we have choices to make, because this is the way we're trained from very young on, is to do the analysis, right? To be up in our head, to do that. And how many times have you heard or been told, never make a decision when you're emotional? Yeah. In other words, for those of us who believe that our emotions are our guidance system, our GPS, we're being told to turn that off. And to me, that's the best time to turn it on, is to not just do the mental, because we should do the mental aspect of it, of decision making, but also to do the heart part of it too, because that's where our soul is. And so when we do that, we're taking our head and our heart in balance. And so when we make a decision, it's a balanced decision, right? And that's why I think it's really important that we're grounded when we do that. Mm-hmm. And so we're taking the best of ourselves and making a decision. And I like what the card said, is that there's no wrong decision. It's just what kind of experiences do you want to have, right? What kind of experience do you want to have? You could have an experience that might be a little bit more challenging, but with the challenge, there's more soul growth on the other side of that. Yeah. I like that. There's no wrong choice. As long as we ask for help when we need it. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be painful. It doesn't have to be. We can choose it to be, but it doesn't have to be. How many people in the live chat are in that position of making a decision about what path are you going to take? You're going to take the left or the right. You're standing at the fork of the roads, or at the 4 corners. You're standing in the center and you have 4 paths, right? You have the east, the south, the west, and the north path. You have a decision to make that's affecting your life, and probably many other people around you, because we're all interconnected, right? How many people are going through that right now? That's a good question. I'm just checking the chat. Hi, Murda. Good to have you here in the chat. Good. And Violet's here. Hi, Violet. Violet Colby. I'm so glad you're here, Violet. It's always good to see you in the chat. So that question that I just asked is, because here we are at the end of 2018, right? We had a card yesterday. It was the Mirror Guardian. And it was about taking the time to reflect. And when we do that, we get to recognize what we accomplished, things that we might have done differently, to take that all in. And we're at the time of the year where many times we have to make a decision about something in our lives. Whether it's just to look for a different job or stay with the same job that we have. Maybe it's about childcare. It could be about health insurance. It's that time of year, that we have to re-enroll or, do a different selection if your employer provides insurance. So, we're always making decisions, but some of those decisions are life-changing decisions. Like, do I move? Do I stay in the house that I'm in? Do I downsize? Do I retire? Yeah, last year, right around this time, I guess it was probably more like in October. Was that last year? Anyway, we in a class we had a lady in the class that her husband had already retired and spending most of his time up at their cabin, and but she was still working, and do I retire? Do I not retire? Do I just go down in hours? And so I have 4-day weekends, or do I work 2 days a week? She had a lot of different options in the decision, or continue working, right? Yeah. It was a healing weekend. Polly Jola Bay was teaching that class here. And by the end of the weekend, this lady had chosen to retire so she could spend more time with her husband, and spend more time up at the cabin. And and making the decision that by the end of January, which would have been this past January, that she would, let her employer know when her last day of work was going to be. So, yeah, it's a life-changing decisions, right? Rochelle's saying, me regarding my future housing. That's a big one, especially because I know that Rochelle is retired. And, do you go to a smaller place so that it's more manageable for you? Or do you not want to do any of the upkeep and you go into a condo kind of situation, or independent living? Or there's a lot of options out there to decide. Hey, Rob is here too. Rob Kendall's here. Hey, Rob. And Julie's saying, yes, I'm working on a couple decisions about housing, work, and family. Yeah, those are big ones, aren't they? Those are big ones. And so, taking your time and doing the mental assessment, and also doing the heart work, right? Yeah, it's good. It's going to be good. No matter what you choose, Julie, it's going to be good. Okay. Put the phone down. So the second card that came, I like this one. I do. This is Medicine Mother. Medicine Mother. Yeah. Don't you just love the artwork on this card? Definitely you get the feeling of the ancient African. Medicine Mother. It says, honor your inner knowing. Honor your inner knowing. And you got it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so where to start, right? So you have the sign of infinity, it looks like to me anyway, around her eyes. You also have the larger earrings, the longer near the temples, the beadwork there, the adornment. And whenever we see that, whether it's in a dream or in divination cards, that's about clairaudience, hearing spirit, clear hearing, right? You go down and you see her necklace, or, it's around her neck there. The shells, those are cowrie shells. Cowrie shells, across many indigenous people, have a very deep meaning with water, of course, but the divine feminine. And in some cultures, it also represents abundance. The more cowrie shells you have, the richer you are in all ways, monetarily and spiritually. Yeah, there's abundance in your life. And then look at the big claw that's near her on her chest. You know, it kind of feels to me like lion or like a big cat. More feminine energy. Very strong, big energy. Big medicine, they would say. You know, Lily Moses, the artist, let me tell you, she really puts a lot in her cards. Gorgeous. And I just love that color blue. See if I missed anything on here. Oh, and she's wearing coral. She's wearing coral. Can you see the red in the necklace there? And I missed it. She also has another claw up near her ear. Yep, lots going on. And even with her headdress, right? Feathers in her headdress. And with indigenous people, and I'm taking this from my own culture, is that when you have a headdress, the feathers, and really it's about near your crown chakra, is bringing in that divine energy, the divine messages from the creator, right? And with that many feathers, you know that there's a lot of energy coming in, a lot of information coming in. And so when you're talking about a medicine mother, you know, she has a lot of knowledge, a lot of ancient knowledge, healing knowledge. I love that card. Yeah. Let's see. I'm checking messages again. Violet is saying, I made the choice already. I'm also making choices to reflect on forgiving myself. I've been doing a little healing at a time, and I definitely see that it's easier to go through it a little bit at a time. I've had that too, 4x4, and it can be scary. Good for you, Violet. Good for you. You know, and you know that how much we support each other here, right? And so good for you, cheering you on, sending you lots of love. And you're right. It's so much easier when you do it a little bit at a time, and then you do the integration, and then you do a little bit more and do the integration. It's easier on our physical body when we do it that way. Kathy Miller. Hello, Kathy Miller. How will my do in 2019? Okay, we're not doing individual cards, Kathy, but you know, the cards that were drawn for today is for everybody. For everybody. So anything that resonates with you, you can take that and ask your spiritual team what that means for you. Talk to your higher self, your soul self, right? And you can get your information that way, or you can join us on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern for Polly Joe LeBay's show, Soul Connections, and she can do individual cards for both you and your son. Okay, and if you'd like, you can do a couple things. You can like and follow where this live stream is happening, which is at our main fan page on Facebook, right? And you'll get the notifications for the shows that are coming up. Or you can go out to Polly Joe's fan page, which is called Chakra Sessions. And you can like and follow her page and get the notifications. And that way you don't miss the show. Okay. Yay. All right. Thank you, Stephanie. Stephanie is so good at helping to explain the card draws and why we do it differently on this particular show. Thanks for doing that, Stephanie. Okay, so the medicine mother. Let's see what the author of the cards has to say about the medicine mother. He says, honor your inner knowing. Take action. Do what you know you need to do. Do what you know you need to do. So take action. Trust your inner knowing. In other words, we're trusting our intuition. We're trusting ourselves. We're trusting our spiritual team and the information that we get from them. And then we take action, right? So when we take action, it also means that we're applying our gifts that we came in with. We're applying our talents and our skills, our education, both formal and informal, in all ways. So not just what you learned in grade school and high school and college, or other classes that you might have taken in that way, but it also covers those classes that you might have taken, those spiritually based classes with those spiritual teachers, whether you learned how to do Reiki or reading Akashic records or something along those lines, right? And so those are our tools. Those are our tools that enhances our gifts. And so we have all those items at our fingertips. So when we say take action, we're using everything that has been given to us to take advantage of those opportunities that come to us, right? So when we're taking action, it's funny that my husband and I were just talking about this, is that when our words and our thoughts, okay, when we act on them or when we speak them, that our behavior and our actions are in alignment with our thoughts. So when we're in alignment, that means that we have integrity, right? So you're not just saying and doing one thing, saying and thinking one thing and then doing another. That's not in harmony. That's not balanced. But when you do and think are the same, then we have integrity, and we come from a much stronger place, right? We're more stable, and we don't have to keep track of stuff, right? There we go. I thought, oh my God, I lost all the comments. No, I just accidentally swiped it. Okay, and Katie's here too. Hi, Katie. Glad you're here. I wish the comments in the studio work, because I could put them up on the screen. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Yvette Neshi Lokotz, and you are listening and watching the daily card draw live stream. Yeah, just in case. So this is the second card that was drawn, Medicine Mother. And it says, honor your inner knowing. Take action. Do what you need. I have to learn how to read again. Do what you know you need to do. The other thing about that is lots of times we're human. We're two-leggeds, right? Sometimes we procrastinate for one reason or another. We know what we need to do, but we can look and see a million different other things that should be done. My office is in my home for Star Nations. And so, especially when I have to do the bookkeeping, I can find a million other things in the house that needs to get done, rather than sitting down and doing the bookkeeping. And so sometimes we just procrastinate. And we know why we do that, right? If we're honest with ourselves about the reason. Other times we think it's going to be so much work, we just don't want to, where do you start, right? Or maybe, he's like, we just don't want to see it. If I don't see it, I don't have to do it. And so for whatever reason, we make the decision not to do it. But if we slowed down enough and just gave it a thought, that if we just did what we know that needs to get done in order to have that soul growth, to realize our greatest desires, that we would actually be taking action, stepping toward that, right? Even if it was a baby step, it's movement. Kyle, the author of the card, says, we all know a maternal figure who is extremely intuitive and insightful, and this medicine mother has gone through many ups and downs. She has lived and she has lost. She knows what it's like to suffer and to want to give up. So the medicine of this card is that it's okay to make mistakes and get it wrong sometimes. And it's okay for things to come to an end. It's not the end of the world. It's just the end of one chapter and the beginning of something new. The medicine mother reminds you that even though you will have low lows, you aren't here to suffer. You're here to be supported and to support others. Let her give you the loving encouragement to take the next step forward. Boy, that's a lot in there, isn't there? The part of there that kind of jumped out at me this morning when I drew the cards and was reading about it is that there are no mistakes. Sometimes we kind of get ourselves all tied up in knots because we don't want to make a mistake, and so we don't make a decision, or we don't take action because we have a fear around making a mistake. And Spirit is telling us there are no mistakes, that we are exactly where we need to be, and taking that action, moving forward, is the energy is always moving, always. Chi, prana, whatever you want to call it, is in constant movement. Now, it does get stagnant, true, but there is always movement. Even if it's a trickle, it's always moving. That's one of the constants. Okay. Put my phone someplace where when it buzzes, it's not making noise. So here's the card again, just so you can take a look at it. There's an old pattern rising up in you now, and it's time to deal with it and release it for good. You're being encouraged to love and respect yourself enough to take the steps you know you need to take to move closer to where you would like to be. So we have some free will here too, right? That's one of our gifts that we came in with, is our free will. And so we have a choice to make that goes along with this card. We have a choice to make. Which path are you going to take? Are you going to take a path? I think the harder place to be in for me, the harder place to be in is when we don't make a choice. When we're kind of stuck in limbo. We're not moving forward. We're not moving backward. We're not moving. And for me, I'm a triple fire, so that is very uncomfortable for me. And so, but that's also a choice, not to make a choice. And we can only make that decision for ourselves, right? Yeah. I tell you what, my street out front of the Star Nations Academy, that's where I'm broadcasting from, is really busy today. It's not like that usually. Because I keep seeing a car go by, and so it's like, it takes my attention over to the window, seeing that movement. Kyle goes on to say that you'll already know the answers. We already know the answers. At a soul level, we already know. It's our conscious mind, our mental mind, that doesn't know. And that's the part of us that kind of gets us all tied up into knots, doesn't it? and all the gyrations of, do I do that? Do I not do that? I could do that, but do I want to do that? What happens if I do that or don't do that? We get our humans, two-leggeds. We can take the simplest thing and turn it inside out and sideways and make it so much more complicated than it really needs to be. I don't know why we do that. But you know what's helpful is to have a good connection to your spiritual team and have a conversation with them, but also to have your inner circle, those in your life that you trust, that you love. It could be friends, it could be family, your inner circle, so that you can sit down with somebody and say, you know what, this is where I'm at with this. And our inner circle are the people who love us and will tell us that, that you have to just make a decision. Or they will say, did you use your tools? Are you grounded? Did you use your oils? Did you do divination cards? They remind us when we get stuck like that we have tools at our fingertips to use. They love us. And we always have one of those friends. Do you ever notice this? You always have one friend who is pretty straightforward and sometimes really blunt. And they'll tell you, exactly what you don't want to hear. But that's good. That's good because sometimes that's what's needed. I have a couple friends like that. All right. So he goes on to say, you know what you need to do. You may have been using the delaying tactics or holding back, but now you're being guided to take action. Action requires courage, but your angels and guides are bringing you the courage to move forward. Take just one step. When you do, the next one will be presented to you. So those in spirit, our spiritual team that consists of our spiritual guides, our angels, our power animals, our totems, our ancestors, the Creator, Grandmother Earth, Grandfather Sky. We have a plethora of spirit helping us every second, right? And so what we have to do is to connect with them and ask them for help. These two cards put together, right? That we have a decision to make. Which direction are you going to go in? And then take the action. Trust in your inner knowing. Trust your intuition. Have faith in your spiritual guides. That it's a co-creation, really, isn't it? It's a co-creation. We're spirit having a physical experience. And our soul growth is in that movement forward. It's kind of exciting, actually, to make those decisions. And I have to tell you that, with Star Nations, we are in a growth pattern. We stabilized in 2018. We went through a shakeup in 2017. We stabilized in 2018. And now looking at 2019, we have Stephanie on board with us, part of the executive team, social media manager, and it has been so helpful. And she's only been with us for 3 weeks. It's like, yay. And now I'm looking at bringing on somebody to help me with the academy so that we can start getting the classes promoted and the students cared for and taken care of. And so we're actually doing an expansion. We've added on 2 more live stream show hosts who are also going to be contributing writers to the magazine. 2 of the existing show hosts have stepped up and are adding a little bit more to their messages and how to deliver them. And so Good things are happening. And all of those decisions were kind of scary to make, but taking the step forward and trusting in my spiritual guidance, trusting in my intuition, is bringing us a way to be able to provide the services to you, our audience, the readers of the magazine, information for your spiritual growth, and to be there for you to offer that information. Right? Yeah. I'm going to check my phone quick and see if we have any messages here. Gardenia, I hope I pronounced that right. Wilder, hello. Thank you for joining us. And Tina's here, Tina Warbonnet. Hello, Tina. It's always good to have you in the chat with us. She says, hello, Neshi. Late. It's okay. Divine timing. Exactly where you need to be when you need to be. Right. One of the things that I always say to myself when I feel like that I'm late for a very important date kind of thing is right time, right place. Right time, right place. It slows me down. I take a deep breath with it, and I know that I don't have that late kind of energy, right? Yeah. Hey, we got company. We got George is here. Hello, Georgie. That's my 5-month-old puppy. His name is George. Where'd he go? You can't really trust a 5-month-old, especially when you can't hear him. There he goes. He's going out the door again. My husband Paul is here too. He brought him up. Oh, and before we go, there's a couple things I wanted to say. Is if anything resonated with you with the information that was shared today through the cards and through the conversation that we had with the comments, is just to please embrace it. Pick it up, embrace it, and see how the energy flows for you today and where that information can be helpful, right? If it didn't resonate with you, don't worry about it. It wasn't for you. You might just share the recorded show link with someone and be the messenger, right? Yeah, and that's okay. So there's a couple things is that I wanted to remind you about, we're going to have replays on Tuesday for the live stream. That was my husband in the back. That's Paul. For the live stream shows on Tuesday, will be replays because that is New Year's Day, right? And we're going to have replays on New Year's Eve as well for those shows that would normally be on live. But we have something really special planned for New Year's Eve day and evening and New Year's Day. We're going to be playing Star Nation's trivia. For those people who love trivia, yay! For those that like to cheer us on, please come. It's about a gathering of the community and having fun in the chat. And so the first round is on New Year's Eve afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern. Will be the first round. We'll play an hour of trivia. We have prizes for the winner. And the second round is on New Year's Eve evening at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we'll do an hour and a half then. Can you hear George running? Yeah, it's like he's tap dancing, isn't it? And so, and then on New Year's Day, we'll play in the afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll play an hour and spend some time together in the new year, right? Yay. Please join us. The other thing I want to show you, I just got this today. This is a gift from one of a good friend of mine, Mervyn Kelly. He's also one of our live stream show hosts from Star to Star. He lives in England, and so he sent me this card deck, the Druid Animal Oracle. I can't wait to open it. It's still in the plastic. I just got it this afternoon. Can't wait. I'm going to spend some time with it. It might take me a little bit, but I'm going to spend some time with it, and this will be the next card deck that we're going to use. Okay. Yay. Thank you, Mervyn. I know you're watching. Thank you so much. I'm very excited about it. Can't wait to open it. I know it's called self-discipline. I wish I could have ripped it open and looked at it, but I want to really be present with it. All right. So with that, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And we'll be back here tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 Central, for tomorrow's live stream and spiritual conversation about the divination cards drawn in the morning. Okay? So thank you so much for being with me this afternoon. I appreciate it. And Bama Mina, that's Potawatomi for until we see each other again. Love you guys.